Today, he will be giving his second speech, How to Organize It, and it's entitled, Read More. So, Paul Priest, read more.
Mr. Toastmaster, distinguished Toastmasters, and guests. How many of you watched the Oscars this past weekend? Anyone? Anyone? Well, of course, millions of people tuned in to watch the stars walk the red carpet in their silk suits and their dazzling dresses. Now, can anyone tell me who watched? Who won for Best Picture? Argo? Thank you, thank you. I'm sure some of you all have seen Argo or Lincoln or Life of Pi, some of the other nominees. Now imagine if, during the Oscars, they got the Best Picture envelope and took it up to the stage, and when they opened it, they announced that there was no winner. Of course, there would be huge controversy. Now, actually, that same thing happened last year with the 2012 Pulitzer Prize for fiction. They declared no winner despite thousands of books being written last year. Now, of course, none of you probably heard about that. In America, movies are a little bit more popular than literature, but tonight, I'm going to encourage you to read more. Now, all of us have but one life to live. Really, in the vast expanse of time, our lives are very small. Through reading, we can experience in some small way the life of another. Through a book and our imagination. Now, the movie Lincoln, Daniel Day-Lewis won for his portrayal as Abraham Lincoln, Best Actor in a Leading Role. Now, the book that the movie was based on, A Team of Rivals, is by Doris Kearns Bookman, and I read it. And it is long. Way long. If you thought the movie was long, this is way longer. And I learned in reading it about Abraham Lincoln, about how benevolent he was, how magnanimous he was. A member of his cabinet, while he was in office, while he was working, this man was working for Lincoln, a close friend of his, tried to run for president against him. And whenever he had the chance, behind Lincoln's back, he was talking badly about him. But Lincoln, instead of doing what probably many of us would do, and dismissing this man, forgave him and kept him on. Now, in addition to learning this about Lincoln, I also found out he was a big fan of poetry. And one of his favorite poems is entitled Mortality by a man named William Knox. And in this poem, he really captures the frailty of life. And it's really kind of prescient that this was Lincoln's favorite poem, considering how he was assassinated. Oh, why should the spirit of mortal be proud? The swift fleeting meteor, the fast moving cloud, the flash of the lightning, the break of the wave. He passes through life to his rest in the grave. And in this poem, through a few short words, the author is able to capture the frailty and the ephemeral nature of life. Now I have another question. Who here has read 50 Shades of Grey? Now some people would call this a guilty pleasure. Probably most of you know what it's about, you're familiar with it, even if you won't admit to having read it. Tim? Now, when reading 50 Shades of Grey, or really when reading any other book, brain works to create compelling characters, to build humongous bridges, and to develop diabolical dungeons, all in our head. And recent research has found, using neural MRI imaging, that this creates new neural pathways in our brain in a way that isn't replicated by relaxing and watching Real Housewives of Atlanta on television. Also, a recent study at University of California, Berkeley, last year, found that reading on a regular basis reduces the plaque on our brain that causes Alzheimer's. This next week, I would like to encourage you to buy a book, to peruse a poem, to grab a guilty pleasure, to walk a little while in someone else's shoes. You're going to enjoy it, and your brain will thank you for it. Mr. Toastmaster.
Well, I'm pretty sure that the plaque in my brain is pretty much gone. I read a lot. I have not read the particular book you were talking about, but it's on my list. I thought I might check into it.